My name's Lorn Healthy, I work for Healthy Options, a fitness professional. Mike's in his 60s, he's had a stroke at the beginning of last year.
This is Mike's second stroke. He had a first stroke in December in a completely different part of the brain, and he was making very good recovery from that when he very suddenly and unexpectedly had this second stroke. Unlike some strokes which affect movement, what it's done with Mike is affected his coordination and balance and his facial nerve. So because of that, his needs have been very particular. It's not so much been trying to get movement back into the affected side, which is his right side. It's all about balance and coordination.
My name's Derek Laidler. I'm the professional lead physiotherapist for Argyll and Bute Health and Social Care Partnership. When Mike came to us, he had no sitting balance. He couldn't sit up without falling over. He certainly had no standing balance. We worked through those quite complex problems to the point where he could move around in his environment. From an NHS point of view, our resources would mean that once we were safely moving around the environment, that's pretty much where we would have to pull out. That's not good enough for someone like Michael, who is motivated and wants to continue to improve. So at the point when he went to Healthy Options is pretty much the point when health services would have had to withdraw and leave him to his own devices. And that would have been a travesty, and that would have been detrimental not only to his ongoing physical health, but also to his mental health. It's important to him that he is improving. And Michael isn't alone in that. There are many, many patients who want to continue to improve as much as they can. And they need to be doing that in an environment like Atlantis Gym with staff like Healthy Options staff, because that's not something that the health service can provide. Mike's quite an interesting character. He's very determined, he's very motivated, which is a really good thing. Mike's also spent his whole life being used to being in charge of things. And so Mike wanted to guide his own rehabilitation. We had to demonstrate that working with us would give him the results that he wanted. So you're very good at moving your weight side to side, yes. You're not so good at whether it needs to come forwards and then forwards again and forwards again. And he continued to improve, and then we asked Healthy Options if they could provide further rehabilitation, and we did a couple of joint sessions, and again he could see that trust and that understanding between the different professionals from health to Healthy Options, and so he immediately started to trust those guys as well, and you can see the impact, you can see the continued improvement that he would make.
So we started him off in the treadmill, we got him onto the rower and onto the cycle machine. His right leg is definitely the side that's been affected most, so all the way down the right side is far more affected than his left side. Working on to things like leg press, we were specifically getting him to do more work on the weaker leg than he is on the stronger leg. Initially he'd be doing 1 or 2 minutes, and now he's up to 5 or 6 minutes on the weight machine. And on the rower, he'd be lucky if he'd get 500 or 600 metres, now he's doing 2,000 metres. He's pretty stubborn. I know the rower he hates, but he's determined to get his times down, so he works really hard at just trying to get those times down. We're currently just starting to move on to focusing on the balance through the hips and making sure he's taking a proper stride, particularly on the weak side. The weak side tends to sort of shuffle through, where the strong side is sort of hitching up at the hip to pull through.
We're so lucky in this area that motivated and committed patients like Michael have somewhere else that they can then go on to that will provide them not only with ongoing rehabilitation, but a more demedicalised approach and a more self-managed approach to how they can maintain and improve their health moving forwards.
When Mike first came back and started the Healthy Options programme, he couldn't even walk from machine to machine. I would say that he would be in a much worse place than he is just now if it wasn't for Healthy Options, and I'm so grateful that this area has got a chance for such a programme. From Mike's point of view too, he's a very ambitious kind of character. He needs to have something to aim for, he needs to have a target, and he needs to know that he is a little bit in control of his own destiny, his own health too, and this has given him some of that back too. Changes are absolutely enormous. I'm so grateful for them all. They're just a decent bunch of people. They're easy to work with. They're patient and they're positive, but not flippant in the right way. And I just, from both of us, we cannot thank them in this programme enough. I've no idea. I know it would be far worse off without it too, and this should be celebrated and funded, and it should be held up as a role model the country over. It's the most positive part of the health service that we have here in Argyll. Absolutely.